I'm here. Hello to you all. Julie, Jacob, Robin, Donna, Mardi. I'm at Bran Castle, right in front of Hey Nicola. I will change the image and I will show you Dracula's castle as it is. For this is the courtyard to have an idea where we are. And this is the alley which goes up to the castle. Are a lot of tourists in here, many groups of foreigners, many individual tourists, many Romanians, and I wait you to come maybe next year to see the castle together with me, to have a live visit, properly live. I will tell you at the end how you can find me. For the ones which doesn't follow my tours till now and doesn't know too much things about the history of this castle, I will start you to tell you that this is a castle built in the 14th century, in 1337, and previously was built by the Teutonic Knights, a small wooden fortress, because this order of knights was brought in here by the Hungarian king. The Hungarian king conquered Transylvania from the Romanians in the 12th century after 100 years of fight, and even that the Romanians continue to live here as a majority of population, and they struggle and fight all the time. They stayed under the dominance of the Hungarians for about 800 years. In 1918, finally, the Romanians from here were united with the motherland, with Romania, in 1918 after the Great War, and till that moment in 1600 they had a previously union with Michael the Brave, Wallachia ruler. To make the long short, I will enter into the castle with you because I imagine that you want to enter. This is the main entrance of the castle. And these Teutonic Knights are an order of knights made during of the Crusades after the order of well-known Templars, the Knights of St. John, the actual Knights of Malta. And they built here a castle at the frontier of Transylvania with Wallachia, which is the south of Romania. And it's called Wallachia because it means the country of a nation which speaks the Latin language. The Romanians were called Wallachs after an old German word which nominate with this expression all the tribes which spoke the Latin language. I enter inside of the castle. I'm into the guards room, and I have on the walls portraits of the previous owners of this castle during of the history till it became the famous castle of Dracula or Vlad the Impaler. I start with the order of Teutonic Knights. You can see a knight right there. Then Ludovic I of Anjou, the king of Hungary, we decided to build here a castle on Dietrich's Rock, as was written into the document, send it to the people from Brașov, to the Germans from Brașov, because Transylvania was colonized by the Hungarians, with Germans and Hungarians to defend the frontier because the Romanians want them out, and Germans to raise a little bit the economy of the province, they being very good artisans and merchandisers. That's why he built here this castle. Second, it's Mircea the Elder, or Mircea cel Bătrân, is the grandfather of Vlad the Impaler, a ruler of Wallachia, Till today, the single Christian prince which defeated an army of the Ottoman Empire with the Sultan on the battlefield. Were many other Christian princes which defeat Ottoman's army, but none of it with the Sultan fighting on the battlefield. He's the only one. Then Sigismund of Luxembourg, Emperor of Hungary and Roman Empire, German Roman Empire, the one which actually gave the start to one of the last crusades against the Ottomans, the one from Nicopolis in 1396. Iancov Hunedoara, a governor of Transylvania, which have Romanian origins, but he was assimilated to the Hungarian aristocracy under the name of Hunyadi János. Vlad the Impaler, or Dracula, ruler of Wallachia, which owned this castle for a while. Gabriel Bethlen, a prince of Transylvania, Hungarian origins. Mihai Viteazul, or Michael the Brave, the ruler of Wallachia and the first unifier of the Romanians in a single state in 1600. George Rákóczi II, and then we came to the last owners of this castle. The first one was Queen Mary of Romania, which was a niece of Queen Victoria of Great Britain and related with all important royal houses of Europe, with the houses of Russia, of Germany, of Great Britain, of course. Then one of her daughters, Princess Ileana, and then one of the sons and the children, actually, of Princess Ileana, the actual owners, Dominic Habsburg of Lothringen and his sisters, Elisabeth Sandhofer and Magdalena Holzhausen. Unfortunately, those two ladies passed away a couple of years ago. I will continue the story showing you some maps of Romania to have an idea what I'm talking about, the history. The first is a map from 1400, and you can see with pink Wallachia, the south of Romania, under the ruler of Vlad the Impaler and Mircea the Elder, his grandfather. Here, where it's written Transylvania, it's Transylvania under the occupation of the Hungarian kingdom. The name of Transylvania came from Latin, from trans silva, which it means the country beyond the forest. And then with blue, it's the medieval state of Moldova, which correspond actually with the actual Republic of Moldova as you know it. The frontier is here on the river Prut. Everything which is to the right is the actual Republic of Moldova, excepting these parts here in the south, which now belongs to Ukraine. And everything else which is to the left on this line, it's our region called Moldova. Everything that you can see with green to the south of Romania, it's previously the Ottoman Empire. Coming to 1600, we have the union of the whole Romanians into a single state for the first time. You can see the border with this pink line, which goes including Transylvania. Michael the Brave is responsible in 1600. We came in 1859, where have done the small union, as we call it, in 1859, when a colonel of the Moldavian army, Alexandru Cuza, was elected to be ruler of Moldova and of Wallachia into the south. As you can observe, Moldova here was already cut in half, because in 1812 the Russians took from us this part which is now known by you as the Republic of Moldova. In 1918 is the map of the big union of the Romanians into a single state, as you can see it here. And now Romania, if you look on the map, it's pretty much the same with this one. Missing, of course, Republic of Moldova and couple of parts which are now part of Ukraine. So this castle belonged to Vlad the Impaler for a couple of years, because he was studied for many years at the court of the Sultan Murad III, the father of Mohammed II, the conqueror of Constantinople. And when he came back to take the throne of his ancestors, he found a very bad situation in his country. So that's why he have the initiative to do some order in his country. And I will tell you in the next minutes how he's done it and what's the connection between him and the name of Dracula and the character of Dracula of Bram Stoker. It's a very simple thing. Vlad Țepeș, or Vlad the Impaler, it's, as I used to say, is the son of his father, because his father was a member of the Dragon's Order, which was an order of knights, called like this, because they fought against the Ottoman Empire. So the coat of arms, it was obviously a dragon, and that dragon was displayed by Vlad, the father of Vlad the Impaler, on his shield, on his flags, pretty much everywhere. And because in the mythology of the Romanians, the image of the devil, the image of the dragon is the image of the devil, he was nicknamed by the Romanians Vlad Dracul, which it means Vlad the devil. So his son was called Dracula or Dracula, which it means the son of the devil. So that's why I'm saying that Dracula is the son of his father, no? Because this is the meaning of his name. I'm going back into the castle. I want to tell you that it's very possible that during of this inside of the castle, because the walls are very thick, to disappear a little bit the signal, but don't worry, it will come back very soon. So don't leave. I'm here with you. I'm entering to the first floor of the castle, which was transformed by Queen Mary. Thank you, Carrie, for telling me that everything is all right. Which was transformed by Queen Mary into his apartments when she received the castle as a donation from the people from Brașov in 1936. And this was the bedroom of Queen Mary, arranged into a room where it used to be the room of the chief of the garrison of this castle into the 1400. It's a very beautiful room. Our queen was not only a very beautiful woman, but a real artist. Normal, if I'm thinking that she was educated to the British court. And speaking about the thick walls, I want to show you something that the people from the 14th, 15th century used to use as a refrigerator in those times to keep the cheese or the meat. Inside of the very thick walls, they created a space, like you can see it from here. And inside of this space, they used to keep, you see, it's very deep. Inside of the wall, they used to keep all the food, which have to stay in the cool, dry place. Speaking about Vlad the Impaler, I told you that he came on the throne. And in that moment, he decided to do some order in his country. But first of all, he have organized a party for all the bad people from his country, for all the beggars, from all the thieves, from all the criminals, to show them that he will be a very good ruler. No, so that's why this is the flag with the coat of arms of Queen Mary, which is actually the coat of arms of Romania from today, excepting the crown on the head of the eagle, and the coat of arms from the center, which represents the personal coat of arms of Queen Mary. Then, as you look into the coat of arms, to the up left, it's an eagle, which represents the coat of arms of Wallachia, an ox head, or a bull head, which is the coat of arms of Moldova, a lion, which is the coat of arms of Oltenia, another region of Romania, an eagle which spread wings and 7 red towers underneath, which is the coat of arms of Transylvania, and 2 dolphins representing Romanian seaside Dobroja. So Vlad Dracula, organized a party for all those guys, and at the middle of the party, he burned all the house to the ground, killing them all, showing that he will be no mercy for the criminals, for the beggars, for all the bad people. And he actually declared the single punishment for those guys being death by impalement, which was a very cruel procedure, which I explained it to you if you don't know how it is. The victim was laid down on the ground. They placed between his butt cheeks a very long, thick beam of wood, sharpened on one of the parts. they introduced that stick of wood into the body of the person with two big hammers, and then they lifted up, and the people under his own weight was impaled himself into that stick, where he stayed agonizing even 2 or 3 days. It was a very cruel way to die, to execute somebody, and wasn't something invented by Vlad the Impaler. It was something invented by the, yes, massively painful. It was something invented by the Turks, and not even by the Turks, because even Charlemagne of France was using it sometimes. So in this way, he was starting to clean his country by all these bad people. Here it's another room with a small exhibition dedicated to Bram Stoker and to his novel Dracula, which make Vlad the Impaler, our ruler, famous all over the world as a vampire. And because of this cruelty, the crime goes to zero in Wallachia, in his country, and appeared a lot of stories which was saying that, for example, he placed on a well, on a crossroads, a gold cup for the people to have to drink fresh water, and nobody stolen it. You imagine why? Because they knew the punishment. Another story, it says that he was going through the country into on his horse with his people, and he found on a field a peasant working the land, and that peasant had the clothes pretty ripped off on his body and very, very dirty. So he asked the peasant if he is married. The answer was yes, and then Vlad Dracula said, okay, then lead me to your wife to meet her. They go home, and Vlad Dracula asked the wife of the peasant if his husband brought her enough hemp to do clothes in the previous year. The answer of the woman was yes. And then Dracula asked her, then why your husband have such ripped off clothes on him and such dirty clothes? So he impaled the woman for being lazy. Another story is saying that a foreign merchandiser was crossing Wallachia, and he stopped for the night on an inn to stay, to sleep, and he asked the owner of the inn, where should I let my bag of money? The answer was, let it into the middle of the street, and if till tomorrow we'll miss even a gold coin, I will pay you double back. So he done it, and during of the night, Dracula was passing by, and he saw the bag of money. He asked what is all about. He received the story, and he added an extra gold coin into the bag of money, and next morning was going himself in person to give back to the foreign merchandiser that gold of money, that bag of money, and asking him to count it to see if the whole amount is there. As you imagine, all the time when that foreign merchandiser was starting to count the money, he was finding that extra gold coin. Finally, he said, Your Highness, this gold coin doesn't belong to me. Good, Valerie, so you have everything fresh in your head. It's good. And Vlad said, because you were a very honest person and told me about this extra gold coin, you are free to go. If you will try to hide me this, I had a spike prepared for you to execute you for not being honest. So he was an honest person, not only a very cruel person, but unfortunately for him, and lucky for me, because now I can present you his story, he had some commercial treaties with the German merchandisers from Brașov and from Sibiu, technically from Transylvania. You remember I've told you that those Germans were brought in here into this Romanian land occupied by the Hungarians to be merchandisers and artisans. So they do not respect the treaty, they break the treaty. And then Vlad attacked their cities, Brașov, which is my hometown, and Sibiu, trying to punish them. And he wasn't capable to conquer those cities, being very well fortified. If you will follow me, you will see my tour with in Brasov. But he impaled all the civilian population of Brasov around of the Spreng Hill, and for this reason, the Germans starting to write, to tell a lot of stories about how a bloody ruler he is, how cruel he is, and all those stories were spread all over Europe. And Mr. Bram Stoker found one of those stories by one of his friends, and he created Dracula as a character, no, of his novel. So this is the way of as Dracula became the character as you know it right now. He's a vampire because it's something which came from the mythology of the country of Mr. Bram Stoker. We don't have vampires in our mythology. We have undead in our mythology called strigoi, which are coming up from the graves and walking through the villages, through the cities, doing a lot of bad things to the people. And I will present you a lot of other things about our mythology on the third floor of this castle, where we have a small exhibition about this. So this is the short story about Vlad the Impaler, but I will not end it before to tell you one of his most important things. Around 1462, around 1460, speaker. I don't understand, Lois. If you can detail a little bit, what do you mean? Okay, so in 1460, Mohammed II, the conqueror of Constantinople in 1453, decided to finish with Vlad the Impaler. Hello, Bonnie. And he sent about 2,000 Turks to capture Vlad. But Vlad captured them and, imagine, impaled them all. So when 2 years after that, Mohammed II was forced to, coming in Wallachia to invade it and to finish. No, Vlad Mark, I don't think he drank blood because he was a normal person. But on a figurative way, you can say that he was drinking the blood of his victims because he was so bloody, so cruel, that it was an exaggeration of his enemies just to make an accent, put an accent above his cruelty and to make him a person which you can't negotiate or talk. You know, it's pretty much something like this. It was a negative propaganda against him, this idea with the drinking blood. I'm showing you now a cape of the Teutonic Knights Order. And coming to Vlad, when Mohammed II invaded in 1462 Wallachia, he came with a huge army to finish the story with Vlad. And yes, are a lot of things positive about Vlad the Impaler, Carrie, because in Romania, for the Romanians, he was a local hero, if you want, because he made order in this country, and he was a very good fighter against the Turks. He was the Ottoman Empire in 1460. It was like ISIS a couple of years ago for Europe. It was the main enemy, like Putin today, if you want. Yes, Patrick, I will come to this immediately. So when in 1462 Mohammed II invaded Wallachia to finish with Vlad, he brought with him Vlad's brother, exactly. Because Vlad's brother was the lover of Sultan Mohammed II, which was a little bit gay. So they were together in this. And when you know, as you know, in the medieval times, one of the most important battles of Europe were between armies with a maximum of 5,000 people. Well, in here, we talk about 100,000 Turks against 40,000 Romanians, which is huge number. So in front of a huge army like this, what Vlad can do, no? Only he was attacking the troops of the Ottomans day and night. He poisoned the wells, he burned all the villages, he burned all the warehouses with food. He destroyed all his country deliberately to not let the enemy to have food and having a good way to the final point of the battle. So after about 2 weeks like this, of fighting like this, Vlad organized the night attack, which is the next one. He dressed in the Ottoman army uniforms, 100 of his best soldiers, and he entered at midnight in the middle of the Ottomans' camp, burning everything, killing everybody, destroying a lot of things, and he was go straight to the Sultan's tent to kill him. Unfortunately, the Sultan wasn't in his tent in that moment, so Vlad missed the opportunity to escape Europe by one of its main enemies. So after about 1 hour of fight, the Romanians pulled back, and the Turks continued to fight and to kill between themselves because of the confusion. They don't know which is a real Turk and which is a Romanian dressed like that. So after this huge success, Vlad was coming here near the Bran Castle, where he was planning to meet King Matthias of Hungary, which promised him help into a crusade against the Ottomans to throw the Turks out of Europe. Instead of the help, King Matthias Corvin of Hungary, half Romanian, and we are very proud of this because he was a great king of the Hungarians, one of the most important kings of this nation in Europe. He threw Vlad behind bars for about 12 years because in the plans of King Matthias doesn't enter in that moment a fight against the Turks, and Vlad, with his persistence in let's fight with the Turks, let's kill the Turks, let's send them away from here, bothered him a little bit. So that's why Vlad stayed in prison for about 12 years, and his brother remained at the throne of Wallachia for only a couple of years because he was sent away by the Patriots from Romania. But during all those years, Radu cel Frumos, or Radu the Beauty One, thank you, Karen, which is the name of this brother of Vlad the Impaler, do something very important even today. He established the capital of Wallachia at Bucharest, which is now the capital of Romania. And Bucharest, it means in Romanian, the city of Bucur. Bucur, it was a peasant, a shepherd, which was going to stay with his sheep during of the winter, coming from the mountains and staying into the lower territories of Romania near the Danube, because there the winter was more gentle than into the mountains. So because he had a very big number of sheep, all the other shepherds was joining him for the winter. So from here, the name of Bucharest, I'm going to the city of Bucur. From here, I will go to the 3rd floor of the castle using this secret staircase, which you can see it right in front of you. It was accidentally discovered during of the time when Queen Mary was rearranged the castle for make it a more suitable residence for her. And it was used by the knights into the 14th and 15th century as a secret door going from the 1st floor to the 3rd floor. I will go inside. I hope to not lose the signal. If it will happen this, the signal will come back in a couple of seconds. So I'm starting to climb the secret staircase from Dracula's castle. As you can see, it's a very long one and pretty steep. And I'm going slowly up. We'll end it into the library and music hall of Queen Mary, which is one of the most important queens of Romania. Welcome, Diana. And here I will arrive on a very small door where it's a sign which says, "Watch your head." You see, it's a very small one for many reasons. One of the reasons, it was the one that in those times the people were shorter than we are today. Second one, in such a big castle, you don't need big openings because you will lose warmth very fast. And second, in case of invasion, a small opening could be defended much easier than a big one. Here are a lot of graphics, which you know it very well, about people impaled by Vlad the Impaler, are written in German because are part of the fairy tales of the Germans. This image from here apparently was taken in Brasov near the Spreng Hill, and I will do another live from there about it will be called St. Bartholomew Church and the Trench of Death, and I will tell you the story of the hill, which is still there. And here it's also Vlad and his people executed. Into this library of Queen Mary, we have the furniture pretty much from those years. That's a painting of Queen Mary with her daughter, Princess Ileana, the next owner of the castle after his mother. And here another painting of our beloved Queen, which in 1926 has a tour in United States, which I understand it still exists in Washington, if I'm not wrong, an exhibition dedicated to this tour of Queen Mary. Okay, from here I will go on the balcony of the castle, which have a very beautiful image above the inner court. But till there, I want to show you something else. This is a fragment of a fresco from one of the Orthodox monasteries situated into the north of Romania. You can see a group of Turks attacking Constantinople in 1453 actually. And here it's the large fresco. It's a fragment from the large fresco of the Final Judgment from the same monasteries from Romania. Imagine that those frescoes were painted, were covering the exterior of the church, not only the interior. And here you can see the river of fire, which goes to the hell, the resurrection of the dead, with the angels, which are using some local horns, not trumpets, to announce the resurrection of the dead. And you can see from the mouth of the animals are coming out, here it's a hand, for example, body parts of the people which was eaten by those animals, just to be able to recompose the body and to present in front of God for the judgment. Here you can see the devils jumping on the balance. Under the balance it's a people which is judged, and they are jumping on their side of the balance to incline it to them to gain that soul for the hell. And here it's David with a local guitar singing the death of the good person, which is dressed in white, and near the mouth you can see the silhouette of a man. It is the soul of the good people. And here is the death of the bad people, and you can see the devils coming to take his soul. Okay, from here, this is the courtyard of the Bran Castle, of Dracula's castle. I'm a little bit against the light. That round tower is the gunpowder tower, which was created somewhere into the 1600s. We have a defense corridor which goes 360 degrees around of the castle, just to be able to defend the people against the enemies. And here it's a well, which is it's a fake well. It's only for decoration. It's not a real well. The real well, it's inside of the wells of the castle, where is that tree, that green tree, that green plant. It was a well made by the Teutonic Knights, and was also not only a well but a escape way in case of invasion of the castle, which they have done it. And Queen Mary arranged into that well an elevator, just to be able to go faster into the yard of the castle at his tea house. Being a British princess, a British queen, she has to be a tea house, no? And from here, I will go up to the artillery platform of this castle to show you the surroundings, which are really beautiful. I'm on the artillery platform, which used to be the attic of the castle. This is the main tower. It's a beautiful day today. And here also you can see the beautiful colors of the fall here near the Bran Castle, and the valley which have a road which crossed the Carpathians, the meridional Carpathians, to the south to Wallachia, and a small stream. Now it's a stream, but it used to be a bigger river into the 15th century. It used to be called the River of the Turks, as a proof that the Turks used this way to invade Transylvania. And you can see also a fragment of wall. You see it? And here it's another one. And two houses. Those houses were the customs of Transylvania in 1500s, 1600s, in the medieval times mostly. And above the road, the actual road, it existed a big gate. And those walls, together with the castle, was creating a courtyard which transformed this castle into a fortress, into a citadel. So if you will speak about the Bran citadel, it's not wrong. And because I'm here, I want to tell you another story connected with our Queen Mary this time. She was so beloved by the Romanians, and she loved Romania so much. Then when she died, she wrote in his will that she wants that her heart to be buried inside of a church placed on the Black Sea coast in Bulgaria. We owned a territory in Bulgaria in those years. A mistake in our history, I would say. So her heart was buried in that church, which is very similar with this one from here, which is like a smaller replica of that church. If you want to visit her castle, which still exists in Bulgaria, you have to go in Balchik. This is the name of the resort from Bulgaria on the Black Sea. So Balchik, you can find the church and the castle of Queen Mary. So after 1945, after the end of the Second World War, when Romania was forced on the peace treaty, by the peace treaty, to get back to Bulgaria that piece of land, the box with the heart of Queen Mary was taken from there and brought in here near the Bran Castle, his second favorite place, and was buried, her heart, into a small cave, into a rock, into that mountain that you can see over there near the Bran Castle. And her heart was stayed there for about 6-7 years into the 50s, when the communist regime decided that the heart of the queen could be very dangerous for them, because could unite around her, around it actually, all the resistance of the Romanians against the communists. So that's why they decided to send her heart into the dungeons of the History Museum in Bucharest, where the heart stayed for another long years, till 7 years ago, when the heart was go back to the castle of Pelișor in Sinaia, exactly into the room where the queen died in 1938, and her poor heart, it's still resting there. The grave of the Queen Mary, it's buried together with her husband, King Ferdinand I, the one which made the great union of the Romanians into a single state in 1918. And because he was a German king which fought against his own country, Germany, into the Great War, he was called also the Ferdinand the Loyal One, because he was loyal to the Romanians and to her desire to be united together after so many centuries. So Queen Mary was really loved in here, and her story is mixed with the story of Dracula, and I will come back to the story of Dracula, entering back into the castle, starting to telling you another stories about him, and a little bit about our mythology, which is also very interesting, as you will see. I will enter till inside, and here it's another room. It's an image which represents a centaurus, a man which is half horse, half man, which coming to the house of the ladies to punish them because they are working together of Sunday and another religious celebrations. They were punished if they work. Actually, the entire Romanian mythology it consists and it's built around of this of the agricultural year, around of the religious, around of the Orthodox Church, which is very powerful in here, and the faith, the Christian faith of the Romanians, is still very powerful and very important in here. Another image is here. You can see a man lay down into the hay, sleeping on the field, and near him are dancing three goddesses, which are called Ele in Romanian, were spirits, bad spirits, which was coming in June to dance into the forest and on the fields. And if you as a man was met them, you had pretty good chances to die, because their dance, even that it looks very peacefully here, it was actually a very deadly one. So that's why they recreate a little bit the silhouette of a man sleeping the longest sleep, I can say, in the presence of those Yele, which are here. Speaking about the undead, I will lead you. I hope to be open the room in here. Those undeads was, as you know, from Dracula, spirits which coming out from the graves, because the people when the small children were born, when the babies were born, the women which was near the mother, they was looking very carefully to the head of the baby to not have a small skin over the head, because that was the sign that man will become a strigoi or an undead at the moment of his death. So that's why the women was very carefully to remove that piece of skin from the head of the baby and to bury it into the garden of the house of the family at the root, at the bottom of you see how dangerous could be, at the bottom of a tree, just to not let the boy or the girl, the baby, to become a strigoi, to become an undead. So those spirits was coming out from the graves, as you will see another time, and they used to kill people. They used to take from the cows all the milk, and the cows doesn't produce anything, and they were very, very dangerous into the mythology of the Romanians. They were presented like this. So those are the strigoi, our undeads. Probably Bram Stoker was inspired from those stories, and when he wrote Dracula, actually he made a mixture, if you want, between the name of Dracula, which was perfectly chosen because it was going to Dracul, no, to the devil, and also the part with the blood drinking was coming from whoa, he's very furious, was coming from the look. Here is the garlic. We appreciate a lot the garlic in Transylvania, you know why. So here are some objects used by Professor Van Helsing. So yes, the Romanians believe. Believe, it's a very strong word, Mark. Not believe. We have the mythology. We have some beliefs in this kind of stuff. But I believe that in Romania, the faith and the belief in God, it's stronger than the belief in this kind of creatures of the night. So one of the weapons that we have it against them, it's a very short prayer, which is called the prayer of the heart or the prayer of Jesus, which is saying, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And this is a prayer that you can say it every time, anytime, whatever you do, you working, you eating, you driving the car. So when you are in trouble, if you say this prayer of heart or the prayer of Jesus, you are protected by all those evil spirits which have not any kind of power against you. This is a ghost, as you can see it projected on the wall of the castle. So in the old times, we had this mythology, which is it's a pretty big one. Oh yes, nice, Penny. So probably he's somewhere around me. You see, it's a very small world. That's why I love to be a travel guide. And if you will follow me into the Halloween night, I usually, because I have a travel agency, visit Transylvania Travel. It's the name. You can find it on Google. I organized since 17 years ago Halloween tours and Halloween parties here at Bran and into another big castle from Transylvania, the Corvin's Castle. It's a huge party with artistic moments, with Dracula's wedding, with a lot of stuff. If you will enter on our website, or if you will look for us, you will see some videos from the other parties that we have it. And in this Halloween night, because of the fact that we'll not organize such a big party, because of the war from Ukraine, many people are afraid to come in Romania, even that Romania is a very safe place because we are part of NATO, so the American army is here protecting us, so you can come without fear. I will do a live from Sighișoara, which is the birthplace of Dracula, and I will do a live into the Halloween night on the dark street of Sighișoara, which is a medieval city. It's one of the few medieval cities from Europe, maintained exactly as it used to be 600 years ago, which is still habitated. So if you follow me in that tour in Sighișoara into the Halloween night on the dark streets, I will tell you another frightened stories about this. That's a werewolf, as you can see. And here it's something connected with the Dacians, our direct ancestors. That's a Dacian priest and the dragon. Those Dacian priests used to go every year for about 40 days on the mountain Bucegi in Romania to pray for their gods. And speaking about this, the religion of the Dacians was very close to the Christianity because they had 10 commandments, like 10 times do not do something, and they had a supreme god called Zamolxe, and but of course they wasn't entirely Christians because they also was very cruel. They were sacrificing people to this god Zamolxe, sending messengers to this god. They was chosen the best soldier from their communities, and they throwing him into spikes. If he died immediately, Zamolxe, their god, was receiving the message. If he doesn't die immediately, then the god was against them somehow, and the message wasn't transmitted. So even that, the fact they were very close they was close somehow with the Christians. They wasn't Christians at all because of course they didn't believe in Jesus Christ and in the God that we believe today. Also, speaking of the Dacians, I will tell you another interesting fact. They had a calendar, a solar calendar, which was so precisely that the difference between that calendar and the calendar from today, it was only by 12 minutes. So a very important material culture of the Dacians in here. And plus they are here and we, by them, our ancestors, we are here in Europe since about 3,000 years ago with the Romanians. We are one of the oldest civilizations of Europe, just because of this. Mă duc sus ca să nu vă deranjez. And now I want to go up into the tower of the castle to show you another small exhibition and something very precious that we have here. This is woo. This is something very, very scary, which is waiting for us here. Spiders. And of course, some images from Dracula's movies. And of course, a coffin. Dracula's coffin, of course. As you can see, it's covered with spiders' nets. And speaking about Dracula and about Dracula of Francis Ford Coppola, the movie from 1992, I want to show you something very precious that we have it here in our collection. It's a jewelry which was used in that movie and weighed by one of the wives of Dracula. We remember those beautiful goddesses which tried to bite the British, which came into the debut of the movie at the Count's Castle. And from here, I want to tell you about Vlad, another thing. Maybe you know that the King Charles III of Great Britain, the former Prince Charles, he was very close to Romania. He came here in our country visiting every year in the last 20 years. He bought a lot of properties in Romania, in Transylvania. He had a lot of houses, and he was coming to one of his houses from Viskri, which is a German village in Transylvania. He was coming every year, as I said. He was stayed about 1 or 2 weeks there. He was meeting the tourists. He was like one of the villagers, if you want. And that because he strong belief that his royal family, it's related with Vlad the Impaler. This is the tree, the family tree of Vlad the Impaler. And somewhere to the top, over the top, King Charles III of Great Britain discovered a relation between Vlad the Impaler descendants and the royal family of Great Britain, which till the moment wasn't proved yet. The specialists are working to this. I don't know if will happen to be proved till the end, this thing. Yes, Rebecca, it's true. But if he say it, and I read something, are some marriages made between some of the descendants of Vlad the Impaler and some people which are strongly related with the British crown. So the death of Queen Elizabeth, God rest her soul, was something big and important for us, more than for the other people of the world. And if you don't know, the house of King Charles from Viskri, from Transylvania, near my home city, it was kept a religious service into the memory of Queen Elizabeth, and the dark flag was placed on the facade of his house in sign of respect for the death of his mother. You can see a small mannequin of Vlad the Impaler, and something that you also don't know. This star, which is in all pictures of Vlad the Impaler, if you can read, it's an octagon. Are 8 rays of the star, and 8, it's a very important symbolic number into the Christian church, which it means that God created the world in 7 days, and the 8th day is the day of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So this octagon sign, it's a very important sign, and for I don't know what kind of reason, it is presented here on the head of Vlad the Impaler, and not only on his cap, but on all the decorations and the flags of the Romanian rulers. I will start to descend and go to the end of our trip. This is the main staircase of the castle. Here it's the antechamber for the music room of Queen Mary that we saw it in the library previously. And I will continue to descend. I'm one of the last visitors of the castle because it closed at 6 p.m. Romanian time. So in about 7 minutes. And here I will show you, these are the apartment of the king. You can see it was one of the rooms that he used to use it for receiving his guests. This is a beautiful door, painted in these colors and decorations of the Germans from Transylvania, flowers and plants in red, yellow, and green. And also here it's a stove, type of stoves which exists pretty much everywhere into the villages of Romania. And this is the king's bedroom. This is a scepter and the crown are copies after the crown and the scepter of the king's ancestors in Germany and Bavaria. Nothing to do with our crown. The crown of our royal house, it's made by steel, obtained from a captured Turkish cannon during the independence war of Romania against Turkey in 1877. It was a symbolic crown of our independence. And this stove is made in 1800 and is decorated with the 10 virtues. It's a very beautiful one. And this is King's bed. It's not the original bed. It's something from the private collection of the actual owners. The real bed was looking like this. This was the one. You can see it's a Baroque one with beautiful columns, Solomonian columns, carved. And this bed was fit very well with this side of the door of the bedroom, which is also carved exactly like it used to be carved, the bed of the king. Okay, and to go with the taste till the end, if this part of the door was fit with the king's bed, okay, I understand now, Luis. It's a German name speaker. I will take a look and I will tell you. This part of the door is painted like this, with flowers and design of the Germans to fit with the beams from this room, which are painted exactly the same. You can see. And here, for example, are coat of arms of the cities around of the Bran Castle. And here it's an image representing into a fresco Vlad the Impaler father from his home in Sighișoara. I will show it to you on the Halloween night. And this room, it used to be the players' room, the playroom of the children of the royal family, the place where they used to keep their toys and were playing. And here I will enter in one of the last rooms. Nu vă mai țin mult, plec imediat. Da. Okay. Nicio problemă. Here you can see a lot of armors used in Transylvania into the 16th and 15th century. This armor, it represents a crossbow man. It's a crossbow soldier. That skirt, it should be a kilt. And the crossbow, because the crossbow, it's documentary attested in Romania for the first time in 1500 when a group of 15 crossbow soldiers, crossbow mercenaries from Scotland came here to the Bran Castle to defending it. So that's why we have documentary attested the crossbow as the weapon in Romania for the first time connected with the Bran Castle. Here are costumes used by the artists to play in historical movies. This was a historical movie about Mircea the Elder, the grandfather of Dracula. This is a original costume used by an actor into the movie called Vlad Țepeș. You can find the movie Vlad Țepeș subtitled in English on YouTube. It's a movie about Vlad the Impaler. It's one of the good Romanian movies. And this is a costume of Michael the Brave, the actor which played Michael the Brave in the movie The Mace with 3 coat of arms. Till to get outside, I want to show you a folklorical Romanian costume from the south of Romania, from Argeș, used by Princess Ileana. And pictures and the flag of Romania with her private coat of arms displayed in here. Princess Ileana died in the 90s as a nun into into an Orthodox monastery in Pennsylvania, United States. But before of this moment, she came for a last visit here in Bran to see her beloved castle. And here I'm on the defense corridor, going around of the castle. You can see for some pictures the castle, and I will show you from another angle to see the tower. Okay. They are preparing for a private tour here at the castle. One of the last private tours which we have done it here. It was 4 years ago, the last one, 5 years ago, after a Halloween tour. We had a private tour inside of the castle with guided, of course. And this is an exhibition of torture instruments. You can see the Iron Maiden, not the band, not the rock band. It was an instrument where the people were placed inside. They closed the doors with those sharp knives, with sharp blades. So they were killed, and then something was open under their feet. The body was fallen into a deep ditch, where some other blades was cutting the body in parts, and the people disappeared. And here it's another painting, another picture of the castle with the place where I went to that balcony. And from here, the people were very, very cruel into the medieval times. I have no idea why, but they invented a lot of ways to kill other people. And from here, I'm going to the courtyard. I will see if I can use the elevator or not. Just a moment. Ce faci, domnul?
Bună ziua, ce faceți?
Surfus. Fac un live pe net. Merge liftul?
Da.
Pot să mă duc jos cu el?
Nu știu ce puteți și ce nu puteți.
Hai.
Că să poate.
Mersi, fain. Okay, I will take the elevator with Queen. I hope I'm live again. If you can hear me or see me, no. Nu mă duc că pierd semnalul. Okay, I will try to enter inside of the elevator. I will lose the signal, but stay there because I will recover it in a couple of minutes. Hai să intru, să mă duc. Ok, mă întorc să iau niște postere. Now I think you can hear me again. the signal disappeared for a couple of minutes because inside of the, you saw something inside of the elevator, or it was too much rock and the signal was destroyed. Anyway, for that missing, I'll offer you this. It's a good angle for taking pictures, and I will move to another spot better than this one to let you to take some good pictures to the castle. Yeah, it was the elevator. Yes, it was the elevator built by Queen Mary inside of the well. That's why, being a lot of rock, I couldn't show you nothing. So this is the castle again. I'm glad that if you enjoy it, if you enjoy the tour, if you learn something extra about Vlad the Impaler Dracula, and I invite you on Sighișoara on the night of Halloween for that tour. And if you want, if you will be here, I will have another tours at the end of October in Cluj-Napoca and on the salt mine from Turda. I'm glad to hear this. This is one of the purpose of myself, to show you and to teach you a lot of things about Romania. So if you like it, please follow me to be with me for the other tours, because Romania, it's a simply surprising country, and if you have no idea what you are missing if you are not seeing those tours. I wish all of you a good night, a good evening, or a good day, depending on what meridian you are, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.